Hi everyone, it's the evening of Thursday the 16th of May. So, rest day for me today. Yesterday was yoga and kickboxing. Tuesday was the 13k run, which I felt I'd really quite heavy legs on, so I'm just trying not to kind of overdo it. On Tuesday after my run, I also did a little bit of kettlebell work in my legs, so with some squats and stuff. So my legs were feeling a little bit tired, and yoga and kickboxing were certainly kind of working on the hip flexors and things like that last night. But today, one of the sort of main thing today was I was at Lindsay, my sports massage guru genius, and just I go to her on a 3-4 weekly basis at the minute. So I thought today it would actually be quite good to share a little bit more in depth about what I'm trying to get out of the sports massage sessions, and really some of the issues that I've been having. So apologies, trigger warning, some partial nudity will be involved here. And apologies for my pasty white body, but there we go. But I think best to maybe just kind of lay it all out. So let me kind of take you through from starting at my feet, kind of working upwards, kind of where I've got some issues and things I'm working on. It's going to be kind of hard to see some of this, but starting at the bottom. Well, I've always had funny fifth toes. They've always kind of turned in. My mum's does the same. My sons are kind of doing the same. So it's some sort of inherited toe shape. Let's ignore that. But fourth toe here has started to turn in, and the nail's got some bruising and stuff at it. It started turning and kind of going flat here. Wasn't really sure what was going on with that, and then as I've seen the podiatrist, he's not really sure, says it can just be happening sometimes, but what it can be is a neuroma. So there's nerves go up in here, and it can be a neuroma in here somewhere that is then takes up space and then pushes the sort of toe joints and toe bones across. So it could well be that. So what's happening with that is that I'm waiting to be referred to, well, I've done self-referral for an NHS podiatrist, and I'm waiting on waiting on an appointment there. And the podiatrist will then confirm whether that is a likely suspicion. I'll then need to get a scan. An MRI would be best, but it'll probably be an ultrasound. And then working further up, left Achilles, that was where I had the injury. And actually, it's maybe kind of hard to see, maybe if I turn this way, left Achilles is so much kind of chunkier and more swollen than the right. And it doesn't cause me a huge amount of issues, but certainly does get a little bit kind of achy after the runs. But given where I was with it, like even, well, definitely 6 months ago, but even sort of 4 months ago, massive improvement in there. So working further up, my main issues when I'm running is pain on the outside of the right knee around here. Classic IT band syndrome, caused by the sensitive fat pad underneath the IT band, but it really hurts in there. And so where I also feel some tightness and everything is round in here. So Lindsay says it's not so much the IT band, it's everything that is then connected into the IT band causing issues. So but I do feel a sort of lot of tightness and fatigue kind of round this line in here. And that's really sort of stemming from weaknesses in glutes. It's not really a tightness issue, but having stretching in the hamstrings will certainly help. Probably quite quad dominant, and then kind of weak in, well, glute med, glute max, piriformis, all those other kind of muscles in here. So today at the session she was kind of working in here, and there were some really tight areas that she was able to totally release. Like I say, she's a miracle worker, she's amazing. So that's kind of my big issue, is this area, but it's the knee is symptomatic, the IT band is symptomatic of issues further up, issues around the hip. I don't really have the same problem on the left. And I wonder if it is more the fact that my right leg is my stronger leg, therefore I'm more quad dominant in it. I don't know, but I certainly don't get that same sort of tightness around here. So that's kind of legs. Like I say, apologies for the pasty white body, but I thought it'd be good to touch on some of the other issues kind of happening. So another area Lindsay really works in is basically the kind of fascia and all the sort of tightness around my abdomen, starting in the hip flexors in here, but also she was kind of working around in here. Now, when we're doing sort of abdominal breathing work and she's compressing in here, it's kind of a lot sort of tighter in here than it is sort of around in these areas, and it's kind of hard for me to move it because I'm standing up just now. But when I'm lying flat and relaxed, she would say that I should have a feeling of space and being able to just kind of move everything around in here, that it is, you know, you should be able to press in, and I can, mostly around these areas around here, but up round here it starts to get quite tight. So, you know, there's sort of tension in this part here, so it's kind of diaphragm areas and stuff like that. So, and part of that is at yoga and at kickboxing, we were doing quite a lot of kind of core work, so everything was feeling quite tight from there. But it's certainly an area I'm going to work on a bit more. I can get the massage gun in here, I mean, not setting it hard, in a very gentle setting. Massage gun in here does help. This is more a case of abdominal breathing, so it's a case of pressing in with my fingers, lying in bed flat so everything's relaxed, pressing in, then breathing into that area, and then maybe introducing a little bit of movement. I mean, it's quite difficult to do yourself, or certainly more difficult for me to do myself than getting Lindsay to do it, but doing that and really just trying to free up doing some myofascial release in this area in here. So that's a kind of big thing that I can work on and do things like that. And continuing to do things like foam rolling on my back, and she's saying that my vertebrae and everything's sitting a lot happier in my back. I was talking to her about introducing a third run, but she thinks I'd be better spending that third run time and that sort of third run state of recovery into doing more strength and conditioning work. So that's going to be more you know, squats holding a kettlebell. It's going to be more sort of single leg squats where one leg's kind of back and you're sort of dominant in the sort of forward leg, or, you know, Cossack squats where you're off to the side here. But I really want to be able to do these things at home, and really, I mean, squats are an amazing glute exercise, so I'm going to focus on that. I just need to work out where in my week is best to fit it in. You know, if I keep doing it on days where I'm exhausted from running, I'm just adding pain on top of pain. So apart from that, I mean, other things just to cover. I do have a bit of a right shoulder issue. My right shoulder sits lower. Podiatrist did wonder if it's because my right leg sits a bit lower, but I did get a climbing injury 10-12 years ago. Just indoor climbing. I was doing a move and sort of rotated my shoulder and kind of felt the rotator cuff go a bit, and it's never been right since. So yeah, I mean, that's my kind of major issue on there. And yeah, so a few things for me to work on, but I would thoroughly recommend sports massage. Finding a really decent practitioner. You know, the difference between sports massage and just going for a massage is, you know, it's chalk and cheese. So that's kind of what I'm working on, and just continuing mobility. trying to do my forward folds and working on that. And I do notice some difference there. I'm getting better. So progress, and I'm next back to Lindsay on the 13th of June, and I'm always keen to have done things by the time we get back and hear her say, oh, you've improved. So that's a bit of an update on that. Another thing I wanted to just recap on was I got some blood work done a few weeks ago through work, and just checking on things like, well, they checked in BMI, so obviously that's not blood work, but cholesterol and blood glucose. So I'll just quickly go over what those results were. As part of the benefit package at work, we get health insurance through a company called Vitality. And they provide a whole range of services, but one of the things they do is offer sort of wellness checking through blood screening, and it's provided by a company called Blue Crest. So they were the ones that sent out a blood sample kit and ran the sort of sample session. So yep, this is the portal that they have and where they share the results. The 3 parts to the test. So there was a sort of general health check where they asked things like height and weight. There was blood glucose, and there was blood cholesterol levels. So at the time of the test, I was 72 kilos, and I'm 180 centimetres. So that gives me a BMI of 22.2, which is bang in the middle of the green zone. To be perfectly honest, I'm not a massive fan of BMI. I think it works for some populations, I should say. But really, when you're on the sort of fitter end of the spectrum, it's relatively meaningless. But still, they do it. Then another part of it is the next part of it was the blood glucose level, and this was a non-fasting, and I'd actually eaten a rice cracker about sort of 40 minutes before. So looking at blood glucose level for type 2 diabetes, and again, firmly in the middle of the green zone, which is great. Given my sweet tooth, I'm pretty happy to be not even in the sort of pre-diabetic zone. My recent move to really making sure I'm eating a lot more fruit and veg and things like that, and cutting out on processed sugar, I think has made a big difference to that, although I don't know what it was like beforehand. And then the last part of it, which I really had no idea about, was cholesterol levels. So there's 3 levels here. There's the triglycerides, that's the fats in your bloodstream, which, again, bang in the middle of the sort of green zone at 1 millimole per litre. And what that really means is that I'm kind of balancing out consumption and use of the fats. That I'm not really, I don't have a huge amount of excess calories, excess nutrition floating around in my bloodstream, that is coming in and it's getting used. So that's really what you're aiming for. Then on to cholesterol. So your high density lipoprotein, your good cholesterol. More is better, but then too much is not good. And I'm on the higher end of the good scale, so that's a real good sign. I'm eating a little bit more fish, so having a bit more tuna. I'm making sure I have my omega 369 every day. And I have done that for a while. And then you've got your non-HDL cholesterol, so that's basically your bad cholesterol, and again and for this one, lower is better, and again I'm kind of bang in the middle of the green zone, so that's great. I'm not a big fan of fatty foods, I have to say, so I guess it wasn't a massive risk of that one, but really good to see that I'm in the green zone. And then overall my cholesterol's right in the green zone, so I'm kind of higher in the good cholesterol and kind of right in the middle of the bad cholesterol. So overall, slightly on the high side of overall cholesterol, but certainly bang in the green. And a very healthy ratio to cholesterol and non-cholesterol. So I think it was a worthwhile exercise. It's something that I think I would look at different tests in the future. Things like vitamin D levels,
thyroid functions and sort of hormone functions. I don't, I might be interested in androgen, so testosterone level testing. As I'm 48, I would be expecting my testosterone levels to be dropping. So I might sign up to a few more tests, and they'll cost me a bit, but there is a discount through the work scheme. So I hope you found that interesting, and I think it's something that everyone should be doing. And you can get these things privately, and they're not a massive amount of money. So tomorrow's Friday. I'm in London just for a little while tomorrow. I then will be long run on Saturday, and the weather's looking great. I did 21 last Saturday, so this Saturday it'd be nice to do 22. So we'll see. All right, take care.